Welcome back to the Mint Prjct podcast. We are so excited today. We have Arielle Loewen on the podcast, two-time fittest mom in America, two-time CrossFit Games athlete, and I think I also saw on your Instagram that you have your MBA, Arielle.
I do. Thanks for having me. What an intro.
Yes, we are so excited to chat all things fitness, all things motherhood. So let's start. You just completed the CrossFit Open, placed 4th overall.
Yes.
And you also just finished quarterfinals. So talk to us about the workouts. Talk to us about all of it, how you're feeling.
Oh, it was so fun. So the Open got 4th. Quarterfinals in the world, same thing, got 4th.
Dang.
So super consistent.
Whoa, so freaking amazing.
So I have nothing bad to say because I'm super pleased with my placement. And overall, there were a few hiccups, but that always happens. But we dropped Blakely off with my grandparents, or with my parents, her grandparents this weekend. So the whole weekend was just focused on, okay, these 2 workouts are due Friday. When do we want to do them? When fits in my schedule? And it was just super chill because I felt like I had all the time in the world to do what.
Oh, that's nice.
And I'm like, is this what normal CrossFit athletes feel like?
Right?
So I was like, I did the workout and it was 7 p.m. And I was like, I have nothing to do, no one to take care of. So I deep cleaned the house one day, did all the laundry one day because I was like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Awesome.
It's like you don't think about that. Like you have to actually plan this into your schedule when you have a kid. That's what you have to do.
Right.
So that's great that you kind of had the day to
and you guys
worry about that.
Yeah, you guys work out. After you work out, it's not, okay, let me then shower and then I'm going to eat. It's like, okay, I'm done working out. Now what does my kid need?
Right.
So it was just weird to finish working out and be like, okay, I guess I'll just make lunch now. That's it.
Yeah, I can eat first. Right?
Exactly. So it was a nice treat. This weekend felt like a vacation.
That's amazing.
Yeah, a staycation.
Right.
So Blakely's your daughter. Tell everybody how old she is.
I have a 4-year-old daughter named Blakely. And I work out from home. So usually when I'm working out, she's either eating snacks, watching a movie, coloring. So it was nice that she was with grandma this weekend doing whoever knows what. And I didn't have to think about her.
Yeah, that's awesome. Was there anything like unexpected in the workouts that came up, or did you feel prepared for everything?
I felt prepared for everything. They threw in a single jump rope and then you had to cross jump rope.
Yes.
And
yes.
At the games last year, they had thrown in a double crossover. So I've been working on the harder version. So I didn't expect to see it. So I was okay with it. But that was the only weird movement they threw in. They were just like, what?
I did see that. I'm going to have to practice that. Have you done that, Betsy?
There's just no need. I might try it one time to see if by chance I'm just built knowing how to do them, but I don't think I'm sure Kara has gotten them down by now.
Hi,
sorry. Kara's here.
Okay. I feel like I would wind up on that make WODs great again if I tried to do like throwing things across the room. We're talking about the crossover jump rope move.
Oh,
Kara could do it.
I did them, but I got whipped. Yeah.
They're hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I got whipped quite a few times, but I figured it out eventually.
It's just not a skill I feel like you need.
So
hey,
Arielle,
Kara, nice to meet
you. Yeah, nice to meet you. Sorry, I had a poop situation, but it's cleaned up. We're good. Not me and my daughter. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Not with her.
Mom life.
I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah, just in case. Just start this off right.
Well, we were just talking about the Open, Kara, and did you know she got 4th in the Open?
I just saw that today. Yes, that's amazing.
Thank you.
So cool. So cool.
So cool.
Yeah. Have the quarter finals come out yet?
Yeah.
Final rankings. So you got 4th in that.
4th in that. So first.
Yeah, that's what I saw this morning.
Thanks.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Thanks. First in my region, which is a fun treat. But the world is fun to look at too, because that's all the competitors.
That is so cool. Congrats.
Thanks.
Yeah, you are awesome. Those are hard workouts.
Tell us a little bit. So you have a 4-year-old daughter. You have trained, so you're working out before you had your daughter.
Right.
and during your pregnancy. How did strength training and exercise help you either during your pregnancy, or why was it important for you to continue it? I know you kind of talked a little bit about like wanting to compete before then and then just happened to do it again after.
Yeah, I have always been into fitness. So since high school, since after college. So whenever I got pregnant, it was just the normal thing to do was show up to the gym. And for me, I wasn't looking to get pregnant. So when I got pregnant, it was the only little bit of normalcy I had left in my life. So it was like, okay, my body's going through all these changes mentally. I still need to do what my mind is used to, which is get in the gym, sweat, move a little bit. So I was actually super thankful I was able to work out the entire pregnancy, doing CrossFit and modifying it a lot, of course. But I worked out up until the day I gave birth, took a month off, and then once I was cleared with the doctor, was just right back in the gym. Because for me, it was more mental than anything to, okay, everything in my life has changed, how I look, the time I have. So I was like, mentally, I still need that one constant, which was working out.
Now, you were working out at a gym then, right? You work out at your house now.
Yeah, I was at a CrossFit gym and just would, whatever the daily class was, scale it back as needed. Which I think it was easier to do pregnant because I had the excuse of, okay, here's my belly. This movement is weird to do, like on the rower. Let's do something else. Postpartum, coming back to the gym was harder because I didn't have the big belly, and it was almost like, okay, I don't know what to scale. Is a handstand push-up good after birth because there's no longer a baby in my belly? So I'd say the postpartum coming back was harder because I had to have a lot of reality checks like, you are not strong anymore. Time to start slowly building up your strength. Handstands are hard. Toes to bars hard. Everything was hard, and there was no longer a belly to make an excuse.
Did you feel did you have any physical postpartum symptoms or anything? Like, when you came back, did you feel like you were peeing your pants a lot during jumping, running, heavy lifting, or any kind of diastasis? Did you notice any of that?
I actually was super blessed that I did not. I didn't lift heavy probably until a year after giving birth. So I waited quite a long time to test if I would pee lifting heavy or not. And It's still like, regardless what I do, if I lift super heavy today or if I pick up a super heavy sandbag, I will still pee a little bit. But I definitely did not push the limits anytime soon.
So how did you decide that to not push the limits? Was that just totally based on feel? Did you have a coach helping you through either pregnancy or postpartum? Where were you getting your information?
I kind of took giving birth as like an injury, and I knew my body was injured. So I was like, okay, let's just slowly lift. Like, I know I used to be able to lift 185, but I physically know that 95 is heavy right now, so just stay at 95. Mm-hmm. So I literally had to put aside my pride and say, okay, I'm injured. Do what feels good today, not what I used to be able to do 5 years ago.
That's such a good hack for an athlete, because those are some of the people that we see it's most challenging for to modify and scale during pregnancy and like early postpartum, because you're so used to being at this elite level that it's hard for any woman to kind of take a step back. But I think when you're at that elite level of performance, I love that you kind of had a little like pep talk almost with yourself, and you had a way of reminding yourself to bring it down a notch.
Right. It was hard. Don't get me wrong. Like, there was one day I remember trying the clean 185 and I couldn't. So I was like, okay. And then I tried strict handstand push-ups, couldn't do them. Connecting toes to bar. So I had a lot of moments where I thought I could do it because I used to be able to do it, and my body was just like, you're done. No, you cannot do this.
Nope. Moms, it's time to get mom strong. If you're a busy mom who wants to get strong, keep up with your kiddos, not to mention look and feel amazing without spending hours in the gym, we have good news. Our newest program, Mom Strong by Mint Strength and Conditioning, is now available. Designed with the busy mom in mind, this 4-day-a-week program can be done at the gym or at home during nap time in 45 minutes. For all the details, head to themintproject.com.
Well, and it's, you think too, when you're pregnant, especially getting pregnant and not expecting to, that's a quick
Right.
mind shift. It's not something you
Mm-hmm.
prepare for. And you're like halfway through it by the time you understand, okay, this is reality now. Um, but then I think you can kind of seem like it'll be over in 9 months, but it's not quite over in
Yeah.
9 months. So tell us again, you said you had some moments where that was kind of a mindset check. So how did you get through those? Did you have somebody talking you through those moments, or was it just kind of calming yourself down, or what was surprising to you through all of that?
I'd say the biggest thing was just like giving myself grace. I didn't like how I looked the first 9 months. I didn't like how I felt, what I was used to feeling, but it was just like, okay, your body just gave birth. Give yourself grace. Give yourself time to get over it. So it was just a daily reminder of it takes time. And all you can do is just go day by day. But I didn't really have a coach. I didn't really have a nutritionist to help me focus on eating. Like the first day I went back to CrossFit after giving birth, the workout programmed was snatches and toes to bar. And
Oh my God.
I needed a coach with knowledge to say like, hey, Arielle, you just gave birth. Don't even try toes to bars. Just do this or this. But that wasn't there when I was at the CrossFit class. So I had to try and then fail and then mentally talk to myself like, it's okay. You just had a baby. Try something else.
Yeah. So you had to kind of figure it out on your own, which is like a huge reason we started the Mint Project, because we all found the exact same thing. Like we all went through pregnancy without the ability to find a coach who really knew anything. And then we were all gym owners. Well, and then all came back to fitness postpartum with the same experience. Like, what the heck am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're all gym owners and we're like, what happens if someone who's pregnant and postpartum comes in? Do we know how to serve them? Do we know how to help them scale and modify for this chapter that they're in? And then do we know how to help them when they come back to class at their 6-week? Their doctor gave them the green light. And so exactly what you said is like the whole reason we started this, because we want women to feel confident knowing what to do through their pregnancy. And then when they go to that first class, like there is a coach there that is going to help me work my way back, and I will get back to those toes to bar eventually, but like, let's take the time to do it the right way.
Right. And that's why I love the Mint Project. When I was talking to Betsy about it, it was like, we need more people out there to say, hey, you're not okay. Here's what you can do to like slowly get better, and then you'll be fine. It's just that slow, uncomfortable, everything's mushy process is the worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have anybody it was kind of a long time ago, and I think that pregnancy and fitness, especially CrossFit, is becoming more common. Like you see it a lot now.
Right.
But I would say 4 years ago, that wasn't quite the case. So did you have any, for lack of a better term, like judgment, whether that was in the gym or family or anything, or anyone like with the fear mongering of it?
Family, no. Family was nice. Yeah, I would say a lot of people on social media, which I felt like I didn't even do anything crazy. I stopped doing handstand push-ups, stopped running, but I would do strict pull-ups, and people would be like, why are you doing strict pull-ups? You're going to hurt your elbows because they're so loose right now. And
your elbows.
Just goofy things.
That's an interesting one.
Wow.
I've never heard that
but
one.
I think everybody just thinks you're pregnant, that you have to sit down and do nothing. So to see me lifting weights in the gym, people had their own opinions. But then I'll see Tia doing cleans at 185 on Instagram, and I'm like, girl, why? But it's like, was I that crazy? I would like to think not, but I don't remember.
The comment section on posts like that can just be, it's like there is empowering comments, and then there's the I have my opinion, and it's just like sometimes I think you need to turn it off. But yeah, social media, it's like it's a blessing and a curse, especially because I feel like we're so behind in the science and the research and what women should and shouldn't be doing, and everyone has their own opinions, and so it's a struggle.
Right. But for me, it was just mental. That's how I'll put it. Mentally, I needed to work out. Physically, it didn't matter if I worked out or not, but it just made me feel good.
Yeah, to get in there and move and see other humans and remember that life is going on outside.
Yeah, there's bigger things than just your pregnancy craving. But my OBGYN did CrossFit, so it was awesome. to have a doctor who understood, like, hey, get rid of these movements. And I understood everything she was talking about.
Yeah, because there is still kind of this disconnect between sometimes healthcare and fitness and what we know and what we should be doing. So yeah, we love when we find OBs and like chiropractic and all those people who are also into fitness and can kind of bridge that gap and help
Right.
us bridge that gap for women. So that's
Right.
awesome. You mentioned really briefly cravings. Did you have any weird like nutrition or cravings or like aversions during pregnancy?
I lived with my parents when I was pregnant. My whole story is just backwards. I wasn't married yet, hadn't moved in with my husband.
Yeah.
But my dad would always cook mushrooms, just like cut up mushrooms on the stovetop.
Yeah.
It would make me want to puke. The smell was so gross. And then my craving, I loved Rosa's taco salad with chicken. I could just eat that every single day for lunch. It was so yummy.
Dude, I liked, it was not Rosa's, but taco salad too.
Yeah.
Was my go-to in pregnancy.
Sounds good.
Sounds good right now.
Just like
Sounds really good right now.
a meal. I always craved like I was hungry for good food, not just like
That's good.
chicken nuggets and all that.
Right. That's good. Yeah.
I was lucky. But I had
no ice cream and pickles.
No, the worst advice I ever received, which advice just cracks me up because nobody knows your body except yourself.
Right.
But one lady, I think I told this to Betsy, found out I was pregnant and she just came up to me at the gym and was just like, this is the best time in your life. Now is the time to just buy whatever you want. You want chocolate cake? Go eat it. You want cookies? Eat it. She's like, just eat whatever you want. Now's the time. And I was like, that's the worst advice I've ever heard.
No, it's not good advice. I've heard people say that too. And I'm like, you're going to be not so happy about that decision postpartum when you're like,
you should think too, like, or I could like give my baby and my body the best nutrients possible.
Yeah, right.
I understand that's what the only thing that some people can eat. You know, we've talked about that too. But if you can eat other things, you should prioritize those.
Right.
Yeah.
It cracks me up.
Please, Kara, can you touch on your craving? I bring this up all the time. Kara's probably just
I know, because it's so awful. When I was pregnant with my last baby, I just wanted to eat Arby's, and it was just Arby's, their curly fries and their plain roast beef sandwich, and I ate a lot of that, and now I do not want that anymore. So it was a lot of Arby's.
I always wonder how they stay in business. So it's because of you.
The pregnant, yeah,
it's because of pregnant women.
That's hilarious.
3 months of me going there at least once a week. It was not good.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you talked a little bit when we were talking about the open and quarterfinals, how your daughter was with your parents and that gave you kind of the time to work out. But talk about like the day-to-day when you're working out and how you navigate that, having a young daughter. Like, do you have to block out the time? How does your daily schedule look around your workouts and motherhood?
Yeah, it's changed a lot based on how old she is. So when she was really young, I had the expectation that my husband would watch her and I would go to the gym and work out with no kid. But I learned really quick that doesn't work. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. He's got to make money and he's got to go to work.
Yeah.
I can't rely on him to get home at 5, so I can go work out for an hour. So I had to find a gym that would either have childcare or allow her to just sit in a stroller while I worked out. So when I was going to a gym, she would just sit in the stroller like an angel. Like, I had it so well with her and play with toys. Never once did I have to give her my phone, which I loved, to just play or color. Of course, during the workout, I might have to push her for a run or stop my workout, help her. But it was so worth it to get my hour of workout in and knowing I could squeeze it in regardless if my husband worked late. If it didn't happen, like, I made sure it happened. And as she got a little bit older, I switched to a gym that had childcare. So she'd go in the childcare room. And then after she was probably 3 years old when CrossFit started to take off and I started to excel. So I recently just switched to working out at home just because it's so much easier. I don't have to load her in the car, make sure she has snacks. I have snacks. I have my workout stuff. Make sure she's set. Then I work out. By the time all that took place, it was an hour in. And then I only had
Yeah.
an hour and a half to work out because the gym was going to close down. Blakely was sick of being in the kids' room. So working out from home has just been amazing because now I'll just walk in the garage, do my stuff. If she needs me, I walk in the house. That easy. It's been so nice. I do have to prioritize time. Like 11 to 1:30 is my workout time. And it's literally like my job. Like, sorry, I can't come to lunch. I work out at this time. Sorry, I can't take your phone call. So I have to prioritize it because now it kind of is my job, but it also is my mental health as well.
Well, and that's protecting your boundaries. And granted, you are a professional athlete, but I think so much of what you just said still parallels to moms who are not and just want to work out.
Right.
Because it can be very easy, and it can be very easy to say that the kid is an excuse, right? Or that the going to lunch is why you didn't get to work out. But so protecting your boundaries of this is your time. And what I was going to say before is it seems so I went out there to see Arielle recently and got to see that kind of routine that you guys have. And it's interesting how Blakely doesn't really fight it.
Right.
And it seems like that's because she knows this is this time at this day, regardless of what she gets to do that she doesn't do outside of that time. That routine, kids really thrive on that. And if you have this time every single day where she expects, this is how long mom's going to be gone, this is when she's going to be done, I'll get her full attention before and after, whatever that is, goes a long way to make your life easier too.
Exactly. And I started when she was maybe 3 months old. So this has been a routine for as long as she can remember because I choose to prioritize it.
Trainers, did you know that 85% of women will become pregnant in their lifetime? This means that you will work with pregnant and postpartum clients. So get the information you need to safely and effectively guide your clients through this chapter of their fitness journey and become an expert in the space. Not only will you learn about movement, you'll learn about nutrition and mindset from fertility through pregnancy to postpartum, as well as how to market yourself as a professional in this space. You'll interact with the Mint experts throughout the course, giving you the guidance and accountability to finish and get to work. Head to themintproject.com and go to the education tab to learn more.
Yeah, I think that's so important too for her to see that, not just for you prioritizing yourself, but for her to see my mom is prioritizing her health, her physical, mental health, and her time and her boundaries. And then she can grow up doing the same thing because you emulated that for her. Which is so cool. You know, it's just being a good example to her.
Yeah.
Does she ever watch
Especially
you?
having a daughter.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I wouldn't say she ever has the need to come in and watch because she's kind of full of energy right now, but we put up in our gym rings. So when I'm stretching, she loves to just go in there, swing on the rings, which what little kid wouldn't?
All of my kids do that when I work out too.
So I like to think
the best is not the best, but have you ever seen the metal rings?
Oh yeah.
Kid plays on those metal rings, goes right to the head.
Oh no.
Doesn't feel good.
So just get the wooden ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just get a wooden ring.
Those rings are hers. Like I don't use them. So I like to think I'm inviting her in by being like, this is yours. If you want to play in here, go for it. If you don't, you will not hurt my feelings.
Right. And I've had to kind of learn that I can't force it upon my daughter. My daughter's almost 9 now.
Oh,
and I'm always like, work out with me. And she sometimes is interested in it and other times she's not. And I have to be careful not to push it or let it hurt my feelings because she is active. She plays soccer. She's just not really into, which I wasn't either at 9, lifting a barbell or, same thing. She'll come and do gymnastics on the rings.
Yep.
And so I think it's you just keep setting the example and showing them what health and fitness looks like. And eventually they will hopefully follow suit. But yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And the biggest thing from whenever I was coming back from postpartum was just focusing on movement. So there were a lot of days where it was okay, she went down for a nap at 11. I physically can't get to the gym at 12. I've got a kettlebell, dumbbells, barbell at home. While she's napping, it's not going to be the CrossFit workout, super heavy, super intense, but I'm moving. And if I sweated, check, good for the day, good workout.
Let's just remind everyone that this little kettlebell and just moving routine.
Right.
Got this mom at a fourth place. Like,
Yeah.
dedication
It
and
was-
consistency is pretty
Yeah.
important too.
And it was just a stepping stone of, hey, you don't feel good. You don't feel like you look good. Nothing feels right. Just do it one day. Now do it the next day.
Yeah.
Just like a slow little brick by brick. And then your body just gets better without even noticing it.
I love that day by day approach because especially even in your own house, it can be like, oh,
Well, and it's
I can go anytime. I'll go out there in a little bit.
It's so overwhelming. Like I still remember coming home from the hospital and the baby was out, but your belly is still huge. Everything still feels gushy, and it's defeating to be wanted every night, every morning, every second of the day, and you're not happy with how you look. So you have to do something and give yourself grace at the same time.
So you've talked already a little bit about being an example for Blakely. I doubt it matters to you whether Blakely does CrossFit or not, right?
Right.
But what is the example out of that? Let's say using CrossFit as a vehicle. How do you want to be an example through all of this for Blakely as a woman, as just a human in health?
Yeah, I want her. So I grew up kind of always being muscular and having like stockier legs. And in high school, I would get made fun of, but it would be joking of like, oh, she's strong. Oh, she kind of looks like a man. But because of the way I've looked, it's allowed me to thrive in CrossFit, thrive in my job. So I'd love her to see she might look different, but her body can do things that other people cannot because they don't have that body. So just confidence in how God made her and that she's perfect and her body is different than this 100-pound girl, but the 100-pound girl can do things she can't and Blakely can do things she can. So just to see that she's unique and it's for a purpose and it's a beautiful purpose.
I love that. What about moms? I know that your lifestyle is competitor and not every mom is, but you're still a mom, like more than a competitor, you're a mom. So is there an example that you want to put out there for moms or a message for them?
I would love for them to not give up on themselves. I think the saddest thing is I'll go to a lot of mom groups, or I used to be in a MOPS, Mothers of Preschoolers, where we just meet once a week and talk. And it was just always like, my kid, my kid, my kid. And I would just love to encourage parents that your kids are amazing. You love them, but don't lose yourself to where you have a play date. All you can talk about is your kid. Like, let's talk about a book. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about what are you passionate about? And your kids are awesome, but it doesn't always have to be 100% kid focused. And it's hard because you love them, but it's not selfish to still pursue things for yourself.
Yeah, I love that you said that. We actually had a blog post come out a few weeks ago about that. Like, self-care isn't selfish, and
right,
and the more well-rounded you are as a mom, as a person, again, you're doing good things for you, and that just passes on to your kids. It just shows your kids, especially your daughters who could go on to become moms themselves, we should be smart. We should be constantly learning and pushing ourselves and stuff like that, and we can do that while being a mom. And that's part of what that's what MINT stands for, is motherhood in new terms. Like, you define those terms for your own motherhood and just go for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so often we hear moms say like, oh, I'm just a mom, or I just stay home. It's like, no, like there's so much more to you as a person. And first of all, being a stay-at-home mom is the freaking hardest job. I've done both. I've worked and I've stayed home, and staying home is by far harder than work. They're both very challenging, but you're by no means just a stay-at-home mom. Like, and making sure that you do have those other things that you can go do, like go out with your friends. And like you said, talk about things other than, like, it's awesome to be able to relate. Like, we all talk about our kids and what we're struggling with, but it's great to have those other conversations of what you're interested in right now, or like hobbies outside of that, because then you get that refresher to go back to your kids and have the energy to be a good mom.
Right.
So,
and it's a good reminder also, is like, if you don't have anything to talk about, okay, that's a red flag. Yeah. Do you like to read books? Start reading a book. Do you like to cook? Try new meals. Do you like opening yourself up? And I try and do the same. Like, I try not to talk about CrossFit too much, or my husband too much, or it's just like,
Right.
Constantly
Right.
like, am I balanced?
Yes, that's so true. Hey, Mint Mamas and trainers, if you enjoyed our information, you will love our programs and resources. We have a pregnancy fitness program, postpartum program, along with guides on movement modifications and nutrition, all designed to help you safely and effectively stay active through pregnancy and return to exercise postpartum. You can even bundle our programs and save so that your whole journey is covered. You can find all of these resources at themintproject.com.
I think I know, because as Mint has been more involved with you, she's a Mint athlete for the next few months. The conversation with other women has come up about you. And I've heard many comments of like, man, that just seems like the dream, to just stay home with your kid all day and get to work out.
Right.
But like you just said, it's hard. So
It's hard.
throw some reality into it for the people who think that your life is perfect and
I know.
the easiest thing in the world, because you're there's still struggles.
Oh,
right?
100%. And I will say, like right now, I feel like I'm living my dream life, but it still is the pressure of, okay, I wake up, I work out from 11 to about 2. And it's not just, I'm in the gym, I'm doing curls. It's like
Right.
laying on the floor intense. And guess what? No one's there to push you. No one's there to cheer for you. So they're dark sessions, but I still love what I do. So I can't complain. But the struggle is the balancing. Okay, I want to succeed in CrossFit, and that looks like eating healthy. So taking the time to meal prep for me and making sure Blakely's taken care of, going to bed at a decent time, trying to recover in between taking care of a kiddo. And then still my husband works. So I don't want to say expects, but he doesn't expect to come home to a messy house, no food on the table. So I still have I want to say like wife hat, mom hat of keep the house clean, make sure food is ready. You don't just get to be this CrossFit athlete and forget about your family.
Right.
Yeah. I love that. You're supporting a lot of people and you.
Yeah, I worked 8 to 5 in an office. Absolutely hated it. So now I'm kind of in the phase where I'm going to do whatever I can to continue to be in this space as long as my body holds up.
You're doing it, girl.
Yeah, and that just want to point out, like, that's so impressive. You are working out by yourself. You have no one else around you pushing you,
By yourself.
coaching you, and you are 4th right now. Like,
Thank
that
you.
is just the coolest.
Yes.
That is so cool. And it does go to show like you can, some people, you can do it.
Right.
And some people, they just thrive on being around people, and that's great. Like, if you need to be around people, go be around people. But if you've got the space and the equipment, it is totally fine to just work out in your garage,
I think it's good to challenge yourself too, even if you are like, I am someone who definitely does better when there are other people around, but I have tried to force myself to be better about working out alone because a lot of the time that's what my schedule allows. And so it's like mentally getting to that place where you can push yourself, and it's not because I used to be like, oh, I'm by myself. And it's like, okay, it's supposed to be 4 rounds. I'll just stop at 3 rounds because no one's here. It's like, no.
Oh, this weight feels fine. I'll just stay at 95.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I totally admire that you're working out at this level by yourself, because I think that's something that's so amazing to try to push yourself to do on a somewhat regular basis. Like, learn to find the motivation within yourself as well.
Thank you. And right now is a good time of season. As it gets closer to the games, I do ask for a lot of help because I get very overwhelmed with, like, I don't want to go to the games and bomb it. I need people to come in my life and help me. So as it gets closer, I get more stressed and cry a lot more, but that's normal, right?
Oh, no. Yeah.
That's normal.
Oh,
I know.
I can only imagine.
I know.
Do you have any other advice for busy moms or anything that we didn't cover that you'd like to add before we hop off?
One thing my friend shared with me recently that stuck with me, because I'm a stay-at-home mom and I'm a CrossFit athlete, but most importantly, like, I'm home a lot. So I notice when I'm home, if the house is a mess or if there's shoes everywhere, it makes me stressed out, and then I just feel like my peace is gone. So what she said, she used the example of, like, keep your house as close to 0 as possible. So like if I walk in and there's shoes everywhere, there's blankets here, there's toys here, instantly my house is a 10, like in the messiness scale. And mentally I can't handle it. And I almost get anxious, as bad as that sounds. So it's almost like every night when she goes to bed, I have to put this away, or she'll help me before bed. Otherwise, I'll wake up the next day already stressed. So she's like, the more you can do of little things throughout the day so you don't get to that 10 messy house, the better. It's like, okay, after lunch, let me do all the dishes. After dinner, all the dishes. So it's only 2 plates and 2 this versus 500 plates at once, and then you're overwhelmed. So I've tried to put that into practice starting January 1st of like, okay, dinner is done. We're doing all the dishes, putting it away, making sure all of Blakely's toys are in her room, going to bed. And now it's just become a habit to where now it's like, I'm not overwhelmed with housework anymore. It's just putting away little things throughout the day. So I'm always busy. I don't know, but it's mentally helped me a lot.
Yeah, no, perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to comment on a hack that you actually gave me a different hack. But while you were there talking about all of her toys in her room, that has been a game changer to like so I stole it is what we're
Love
doing
it. No.
Is when I came home, I was like, Crew, let's keep your toys in your room and let's play in your room. I mean, he takes them out and plays in the living room and whatnot. But as far as where they live, I feel like that's really helpful too, because if you can contain the mess, but have like your adult space feel not stressful and not chaotic and not stepping on things that hurt, that goes a long way too.
It really does. Like mentally, to walk into your living room and it looks like a living room, internally it does something.
So true. I try to do that too.
And I know I've always heard the kids, well, I remember with sleep training, playing in their room. Just another fun fact for moms, in case you haven't already read this one, with sleep training, making their room not just the place where they go get banished to put to bed goes a long way too. And you could tell Blakely loves her room. Yeah.
And it is, as bad as I say, we just built this house and it's all mine and my husband's stuff. But we tried to let her room be, you want a purple wall? Purple wall. You want to hang up this picture there? Hang it up there. Like that's her safe space. To where she knows, like, don't hurt the house, but you can hurt your room.
Yes.
I
love that.
The little things.
Yeah, that's my daughter's room too. It's like, I'm like, I can't even walk in here. And she's like, it's my room. Right. I'm like, okay. As long as there's a lane that I can get to your bed to check on you. But yeah, that's such a good tip, because when other things are overwhelming you, it can be hard to like prioritize your health and fitness before those things are done. So like getting the sink clean before you go to bed, and then you wake up and it's like there's no dishes in the sink.
Exactly.
So I love that. Cool. Awesome, Arielle. Well, thanks so much for hopping on with us. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, they can go to Mint. I think there should be information on there, or you can go to Instagram at Arielle Arm.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. Thanks for having me.
So much.
Thanks so
much. We'll be keeping an eye on you through the season.
Thank you.
We're so excited for you.
You're so sweet. Thanks. I'm excited too.